If Balaton Park doesn't wake Yamaha up, nothing ever will. That blunt verdict didn't come from a keyboard warrior on social media. It came from Fabio Quartararo himself, minutes after the Austrian Grand Prix chewed up and spat out every single Yamaha on the grid. And here's the kicker. He wasn't being dramatic. When the checkered flag fell at Spielberg, the 4 blue and white machines were literally the last 4 classified finishers. In other words, the only direction left to go in Hungary this weekend is up, because the basement has already been reached. Let's put the numbers in plain English. Quartararo, the best of the Yamaha quartet, trailed race winner Marc Marquez by a yawning 25 seconds. That's almost half a lap on the Red Bull Ring's short layout. Even more alarming, Fabio was still 7 seconds adrift of Ogura in 14th place. Ogura, remember, is a rookie on a year-old bike. When a factory Yamaha can't stay within sight of a first-year satellite rider, alarm bells should be clanging from Iwata to Innsbruck. But here's where it gets controversial. Yamaha already has a brand-new V4 engine sitting on the dyno, a radical departure from its beloved inline-4 architecture. The catch? The official rollout isn't scheduled until 2027. Waiting that long, insiders whisper, could relegate Yamaha to the role of permanent backmarker. So the question racing fans keep asking, sometimes in all caps on Reddit, is simple. Why not rip up the timeline and bolt that V4 into the chassis right now? Let's unpack why that idea terrifies some engineers and excites nearly everyone else. 1. The current inline-4 has hit a wall. Yamaha's jewel-like inline-4 has won titles, but its peak power ceiling is now painfully obvious. On Spielberg's long straights, Quartararo was bouncing off the rev limiter, while Ducati and Aprilia riders cruised past with 10 kilometers per hour in hand. More revs equal more heat, more fuel consumption, and more mechanical stress, yet still not enough speed. In short, the engine concept itself is the bottleneck. 2. A V4 could unlock instant gains. Switching to a V4 layout shortens the crankshaft, reduces internal friction, and allows a more compact packaging of the exhaust and airbox. Translation? More horsepower without a massive increase in fuel burn. Ducati's Desmos Adichie has proven the concept. Aprilia's RSGP is now reaping similar rewards. Yamaha's dyno numbers reportedly show a 15 to 20 bhp jump, enough to vault them from last to the midfield overnight. 3. The development gamble. And this is the part most people miss. Throwing an unproven V4 onto the racetrack in mid-season is engineering heresy. Electronics packages, chassis balance, and even the carbon fiber swing arm would need a complete rethink. A rush debut could backfire spectacularly, turning Yamaha into the laughingstock of the paddock. Remember Honda's 2015 production racer experiment? Exactly. 4. The PR tightrope. Yamaha has spent years marketing the character of its inline-4 screamer. Abandoning it early risks alienating loyal fans who equate that high-pitched howl with the soul of the brand. Yet sticking with a losing formula risks something worse: irrelevance. Ask Suzuki how that worked out. So what's the middle path? One bold suggestion making the rounds in the hospitality units is a soft launch. Ship 2 V4 engines to select tracks with long straights. Silverstone, Motegi, maybe Buriram. Run them in Friday practice, gather data, and then decide on race-by-race deployment. Think of it as a live-fire test disguised as wildcard entries. The FIA's homologation rules allow limited engine updates, and Yamaha still has unused development tokens. In other words, the rulebook isn't the enemy. Hesitation is. The counter-argument, voiced by veteran crew chiefs over late-night espressos, is that Yamaha should grit its teeth, finish 2024 with dignity, and unleash a fully sorted V4 in 2025. Patience, they insist, prevents the PR nightmare of a half-baked prototype grenading itself on the main straight. But patience also means gifting another season to the competition. How many more 25-second humiliations can the factory absorb before sponsors start walking? Let's zoom out for a second. MotoGP is no longer a gentleman's chess match. It's an arms race measured in milliseconds. Ducati's seamless gearbox, Aprilia's ride height device, and KTM's aero winglets all arrived months, sometimes years, ahead of schedule because the cost of waiting was deemed higher than the cost of failing. Yamaha's leadership must decide whether it wants to be Kodak or Canon, the company that clung to film, or the one that pivoted to digital before the market did. And here's the emotional gut punch for fans. Fabio Quartararo is only 25. He has already dragged an underpowered bike to a world title in 2021, but even his patience has limits. If the V4 stays locked in a crate until 2027, the odds of him re-signing plummet. Losing a generational talent because of corporate caution would be a self-inflicted wound that scars the brand for a decade. So, Yamaha, the ball is in your court. Unleash the V4 early, embrace the chaos and gamble on greatness. Or keep polishing yesterday's engine and watch the future ride off on a Desmosedici. Now over to you. Is an early V4 switch genius or madness? Would you risk a season of teething problems for a shot at instant competitiveness? Or should Yamaha stick to the original timeline and avoid a potential PR disaster? Drop your hot take in the comments. Let's see which side of the garage you're on.